I don't think they're ready for me.
Hello everyone, welcome to Orcs Must Die Unchained. This is another how-to OMDU, and today we will be going over the hero Gabriella, the Redeemed Sorceress. So this is one of the three starter heroes that you get whenever you don't even have to buy the game, it's a free game. So whenever you log into the game for the first time, you're given Maximilian, Blackpaw, and Gabriella. So I saw a post on the forums saying that Gabrielle is underwhelming, that she's she's a little hard to understand for newer players or players that are coming from Orcs Must Die 2, because she has changed a little from Orcs Must Die 2 into what she is now in Orcs Must Die Unchained. So I felt like this was probably the first video I should do on a character, because she is one of the starters and she's one of the more complicated starters. But just because she's complicated doesn't mean that she's not powerful. I believe she's actually one of the most powerful characters in the game in the proper hands, and that's true with just about any character. But I just wanted to do this video because she is a starter hero and a lot of people can get the hang of her. So I wanted to try and do this one so that more new players can understand how she works. So let's start in and just talk about some like general info about Gabriella. So on the screen right now should be a picture of her abilities. So let's just go through it. The primary attack, the Thorn of Arcana, it's just your standard arcane damage dealing attack. It does alright damage. It's nothing too crazy, but it does more damage the more you hit a character, because arcane damage applies a debuff, a debuff that allows consecutive arcane damage to deal more. So you hit once, it applies a debuff, then you hit again, it adds another debuff. I think it stacks 3 times, so after that 3rd time you'll start getting critical hits on the same enemy if you keep hitting that same enemy over and over again. So that's a good thing. Right click, it's called the Kinetic Pulse. It has a little bit of a knockback, it does a decent amount of damage, but that's not the primary focus of the right click. The primary focus should be on resetting your kill box. So whenever you hit right click inside of your kill box, it will reset all of the traps and make them go off. So it effectively allows your traps to go off 2 times instead of just their normal 1, which is a huge bonus. So if you're watching the video behind this right now instead of just listening to my voice, you should be able to see that, because it's one of the characteristics that you need to understand for her in order to make her work. Her unique ability, her Q, if you're playing on a keyboard, is called Blink, and this allows her to get out of an area quickly. It also has an upgrade, which I'll get to later, that roots enemies. So, but yeah, it's your basic. You go straight backwards. You don't get to choose where you go. You go straight backwards until you hit a wall or as far as it can go. Her E is called Devious Allure. If you played Orcs Must Die 2, she had something called Mind Control, where she would flip an enemy onto your side for your bit, and it would fight other minions, other orcs coming at you. So you could like control an ogre or a troll and have that troll fight orcs for a while. She doesn't have that ability anymore. Instead, she has Devious Allure, which is an area of effect, and it mesmerizes minions and enemies coming at you until they take damage. So the impact of this ability is stopped whenever a minion takes damage from an outward source. So if you mesmerize them on top of a trap and then the trap goes off, the mesmerize effect is done. Once they take damage, even if you hit them with a left click, or one of your cooperative players, your teammates, hits them with an attack, that stun is over. That's how that works. And her passive is called Limitless Magic, and basically she can stay unchained longer. And I think she may get it faster, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that one. I forgot to read up on that. I don't really like going unchained in the game, as you'll see. It's just not something I really find fun. So that's her basic skills in a nutshell. Let me quickly go through my upgrade path. So on the screen now you should see all of the possible upgrades you can take as you level up. So there should be tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. This is the upgrade path that I take most of the time. There are like some situations where I'll change it up.
Is my favorite.
But and this is by no means like the one you should take or the optimal one. This is just what I find to be
This will give them what they deserve.
It works well for me, basically. So at tier 1, I like to take the blink immobilizes nearby enemies on activation. And the reason I take this is because I love having 2 roots. And without a Q, her blink kind of seems just... I don't know, it's not as good. Like, you don't need to escape anymore in the game. Back when Siege was a thing, escaping quickly was a good thing. But right now, if you position yourself well, you should never really have to move out of the way. There's no immediate danger to you. So having that root there gives that ability a reason to use it. And it's also cheaper than paying Devious Allure all the time, so it's a trade-off. For tier 2, I usually take increases duration of Devious Allure by 2 seconds. And the reason I take this one is because of what I usually take at tier 4. But out of the 3 offered there, that's what I take. I mean, if you're playing a support role, I can see Loving Glow. But I would usually take Old Habits here. Increases duration of Devious Allure. It's always nice to have them stunned in a spot for a long time, especially if you're playing solo. For tier 3, usually I reduce the cooldown because I take a mana trinket. So if you're taking a mana trinket or you're running a mana well, I would almost always take reduction of kinetic pulse. If you're not running a mana trinket or a mana well, I can see the appeal of mana drain, which gives you about 2 mana for each enemy hit. Damage dealt by kinetic pulse, I don't see the benefit of it because it doesn't affect the traps, and that's the main reason I use right click. So if it doesn't increase the trap damage and just increases damage of the ability itself, I don't feel the need to take it. And for tier 4, I usually take Enthralled, which I think almost everybody should take that one at tier 4. It reduces the duration, but it allows the effect of Devious Allure to persist through damage, which means that the minions can get hit by traps. They can take damage from your teammates, and they'll still be stuck in spot, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want them to do. So that's my upgrade path. So I usually go Sacred or Scared Stiff, Sacred, Scared Stiff, and then Old Habits, Extra Commandments, and then Withdrawal. So that's my upgrade path. You can agree or disagree. Let me know what you do in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Maybe you'll change my strategy a bit. So with that being said, that's your general information about Gabriella. So I'd like to talk about trap synergies and hero synergies now. Trap synergies, obviously, you want things that you can reset, which are like your wall blades, grinders, pounders, anything that you can reset with your right click. So it doesn't, if they're upgraded and they're effective, go for it. Ice shards, like spike traps. Ice shards are one of my favorites, actually. If you can get Gabriella with just a whole row of ice shards coming out of the ground, it's kind of amazing. But you know, the pounders are pretty good with her as well. So it's just one of those things. She activates, I think, almost every trap. So just line up as big a kill box as you possibly can. Try to group them all up and then just stick them right in the middle and reset it all. You don't really want damage over time, so you don't really want brimstones or curse grounds off and on as well, because it has the ticks. Grinders off and on because of ticks, but those ones like curse ground and grinders I can understand. Curse ground because it allows your debuff to happen with other forms of arcane damage and all that, but I'd stay away from brimstone. That's a big one. If you're not playing on a team, Gabriella's kind of hard to deal with if your teammates are just wailing away on the enemies. She works much better in a coordinated group, because if you're using your abilities properly. You don't want your teammates to hit them and break that mesmerized state they're in. So stay away from having Smolder and Gabby in the same team, especially if the Smolder you're playing with likes to just use Heart of Flame and cause damage over time. That's going to ruin the effectiveness of Gabby. So it's really the biggest hero I'd stay away from with her. Stink Eye, it's kind of hard to have a Stink Eye and a Gabby work well together as well. But yeah, having like the extra damage with all Arcane is nice, but Stink Eye does a lot of area damage instead of single targets, so it's one of those things. Stink Eye kind of ruins Gabriella in a little bit. So yeah, that's a little overview of Gabriella. Hope you found that interesting. Let me know any questions, comments you have. If you find something I said completely stupid, let me know. But other than that, have a great day, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you around. Peace.